Experience. I am Bella, and this is Jet. Welcome, Jet.
Howdy,
And
Bella.
hi, how are you doing today?
Wonderful. I'm doing
Good.
fine, thanks.
That's good. It's never good when someone's having a sucky day. Boo-hoo.
No.
But this is a
Mm,
good day. So now the age-old question: can men and women be friends? Like when Harry met Sally, remember Harry insists that men and women cannot be friends because he thinks that every guy that's your friend wants to have sex with you, whether you're attractive or unattractive. Now,
mm,
and then Sally disagrees. Sally says,
right.
no,
Yeah.
I have plenty of guy friends and they do not want to have sex with me. But Harry insists, no, sex always gets in the way, and the guys are always going to have sex with you. That's the only reason why they're talking to you, is basically what he's trying to tell her. So that's why, at the beginning of the
Right.
see she says, well, I guess we're not going to be friends then. Too bad, you're the only person I knew in New York City. Goodbye. And then they go separate ways and don't see each other for years.
Right.
So what do you think about that?
About being friends, just being friends with a woman.
Yes.
Um, Whether most people might think that she's really sexy or not, or it all depends, I think, how long you've known them prior to, because sometimes you'll know people, like even say at work, and you never even talk with each other, right? And well, you've just seen each other for like a year or something like that. And so you start talking and you could just be friends,
Yeah.
easy because you're sharing a job and you're talking about your job or and working together. I think it depends. But if the chemistry happens, the dude is gonna, it'd be hard for a guy to just be friends with a girl if the chemistry
If
is going.
there's chemistry there.
Yeah.
Now, but when last Sally says, like, she doesn't want to have sex with these men, and she doesn't think they want to have sex with her, but Harry insists that no,
That all guys
they're only
do.
friends
Yeah.
with you because they do want to have sex with you.
Right, right, right.
So,
Yeah.
like, even if you're just friends, that that could still mean like, yeah, we're just friends, but I would still have sex with her. I wouldn't kick her out of bed if I had the opportunity.
No, no, I think a lot more nowadays, especially a lot of things have changed, and there are so many um, men and women that they it seems like there's a lot of people that don't want a relationship and they just want friendship. That's
That's a
kind of what I
valid
see,
point.
and
Yeah.
I'm single myself, and so for me, I'm not always out there looking. I just everybody, so many people are just working, and
Yeah, a lot of
we
people are
have
busy with their lives and too much going
right
on, and they don't have
family,
for a relationship or not looking for a relationship. But
right,
then also, though, there are other people that, yeah, maybe they're busy with work and life, but they're single and they wouldn't mind like just having sex with their friend if they could. Like, if they could have like a friend, I guess like friend with benefits is what people call them,
right,
So
yeah. I don't see that. No, I've known people though, they have friends with benefits, and I've not gone there. It seems to work for them too. It's like a release for them.
I don't, yeah, I've never, I mean, there's that movie, Friends with Benefits.
I've not seen that, but
Oh,
yeah,
yeah. And in the movie, it turns out that they couldn't just be friends with benefits. At the end, they end up basically falling in love with each other.
right,
And
right.
I always thought that that's what would happen with someone. I never had a friend with benefits, and I'm not looking for a friend with benefits. It's like if anything, I'm gonna be
Huh,
in a serious relationship. I'm not,
right.
gonna be just doing it to boink somebody. And
Right.
I know with men it's different because men not all men. I'm saying there's a lot of men out there that don't need the like emotional attachment that women need. And I feel like if I were to ever try something like that with someone, I would get emotionally attached to them. So that's why I would never do something like that because if they're strictly looking just for sex and not a
Mm.
relationship because they have too much going on in their life, they don't have time to dedicate to a relationship properly. I
Right.
don't want to be like, oh, well, now I have feelings for you because I had sex with you. So we have to be in a relationship when I know that's not what
But
they,
what
but
about for a woman?
I do
That
know
what
there
if a woman
are
has
people that
feelings
are
for a
okay with
guy
that.
that's what if a woman is sexually attracted to a guy, right? Um, and she feels like you're saying she doesn't want to get into a relationship. Would the woman be able to still just talk with the guy and yet she is having like some kind of sexual tension happening inside her that she is like, well, I'm not doing that. That's just gonna I'm not gonna access that. I don't want to indulge it.
Yeah.
Would a woman do that? She would suppress that desire for this other guy besides being a friend, even though he's just being friendly and just talking regular with her. Like switching the tables here. Like the woman wants sex, but the guy is fine with a friend. I mean, would
Yeah, I'm
you
sure
know what I mean?
that's happened a lot of times to different women because I think it goes both ways, not just one way. I do think that there are people that are friends where yeah, the woman is interested in the guy, but the guy isn't
Right,
looking for anything more than just friendship.
right, right. And it
And
depends
that
on where they're at in their lives,
yeah, and
with
and a
other things
lot
going on.
I think even situations where both people like each other, sometimes the timing's off. It's just
Right,
bad
right,
timing, and they can't offer anything more to each other than just friendship.
right,
Like even if they both felt like, attraction to the other person, they're like, well, I can't offer this person a relationship right now because at this point in my life, I'm too busy with my job, too busy with my kids, I'm too busy with things going on in my life. I wouldn't be able to give
right,
this person proper attention for a relationship. And I think that goes, both ways where it could be just timings off, like, oh, if I would have met you 5 years ago, or maybe, 5 years in the future, maybe something like that would work.
right,
But it doesn't. So as a result, they just stay friends
right.
and nothing more.
I I've recently heard though also um, that a woman will know if someone can be like a long-term
Long
friend,
term, oh, a long term friend or
like
a long term
very
partner.
friend, a friend. Like I just heard it on a radio show, and I thought it was pretty interesting because it only takes a short, like 10 seconds, and the woman will know that, like, and I'm talking even just in passing when you're going to a store and you might have a small conversation with someone in the store or working in the store or whatever. And just from that conversation, and say you bump into them again at the store and
Yeah.
you share like a
Yeah.
little bit
Wow.
more.
Ba ba boom.
Yeah. And
Mm.
it's a little bit more information, and that right there is like a friendship connection.
Yeah.
There's not any kind of like lustful, nothing sexual going on. It's a connection. And I think a lot of people focus on that a lot more than just a sexual connection anymore.
Well,
And
I know
especially,
that like with me, it's like I can tell immediately when I meet somebody if I'm going to be good friends with them for a long time or not.
right,
Like I
yeah,
can,
that's what I'm
yeah,
saying.
I can instantly tell. Like immediately I'll be like, this person's awesome. Like I see
Right,
myself having like basically it's kind of like a little psychic vision into the future. Whereas like I
right,
see this
right.
person in my life for a very long time.
Yeah.
And
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 a friend or not.
yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
not friend.
Like
I'm not saying friend or not, but friend or even lover. You're
exactly.
just thinking, yes, that
Yeah. Like this person could end up being like one of my best friends I'm going to speak to for the rest of my life. Or
right,
it could be like, oh, I see this person as relationship material, potential partner that I could
right.
see myself, actually being in a long-term relationship with this person.
I'm thinking COVID changed a lot of that. Um, and in a relationship, you can go ahead and like be online, and talking with each other if you're not able to get with each other. And I'm sure lots of people got together, during COVID. But uh, I think that changed a lot as far as perspectives across the board. That I think people realized how precious relationships are, not just the sex, but the connection with people. That's just what I'm getting with people that I meet and converse with, even from a store or because nobody was talking with each other. We weren't connecting at all with each other,
Yeah,
with the
yeah,
mask on
yeah.
and everything else going
You
on,
couldn't
and
see
so
anyone's facial expressions,
exactly,
because you're all
yeah,
covered up
yeah,
and you have no idea. Like, because normally you see someone smile at you or
right,
see someone
right.
pouting or frowning, or, you
And
could
how
tell.
they smile at
Yeah,
you. Now, then you can go into the whole sexual attraction thing
yeah,
because how someone smiles at you, well,
could
it
say a
could just
lot.
be a nice, genuine, happy smile, but sometimes there's something in that smile and in the eyes that are like, you know, there's an attraction there, not
Yeah,
just for a relationship and friendship, that there's a little bit of added something going
something
on,
more.
and
And
we had that stripped from us for a couple of years.
yes,
So I think I think everybody's just getting their footing again. This is a great topic because I think a lot of people are really in need of great relationships where they can share things, with each other,
yeah,
men and women, or men and women, however it's going, that those relationships, um, I, I, I see people like it's everybody's coming out from being all locked up and we're
hmm,
still finding our way. This is how
yeah.
long after not having to wear masks. And it looks to me like it's still like people are still
Stuck
coming
in
out of a
that.
cave,
Yeah,
or they're coming out of the cave finally. I don't know why my mind started going there. But allegories from the cave, uh Plato. But I think that people, when we get to share with each other just in passing that relationship is needed. And in the US, that's the only place I've been during all this. That's how it was, or that's how it's kind of feeling to me. I don't know how it is in every country.
yeah.
I bet it's different in every country. I
Yeah,
would figure.
yeah, I'm sure it's different in different places, but I also feel like, and maybe I'm completely wrong on this, but I kind of think that COVID normalized more long distance relationships
Right.
than
Yeah,
before
definitely.
COVID. Because of course,
Mhm.
people had long distance relationships before COVID, but I just feel like because of COVID, there's a lot more people that weren't willing to get into long distance relationships before. Now we're
Right,
willing to do it because
right,
there's no other option. It's like you want someone to talk to, you want someone to bond with, you want someone to have an emotional connection with, which is
right.
the need of every human. As humans, we're programmed to not be alone, programmed to be, yet we're both single here. So
Right.
it's like, but
Interesting. Yeah.
yeah, but I believe that like my entire life, like, since I was little, I've always believed like people should be in pairs, animals should be in pairs. I always believed that it wasn't natural for people to be alone. I always thought like, oh, people should always be in twos. Animals should always be like, if I had a pet cat or a pet dog, I believe there should be another cat or another
Right.
dog to keep them company. Because they shouldn't just
Mhm.
be, by themselves. Because they also need affection and love too from their own kind, even though they get it from us humans. But they also need from their own, another cat, another dog they can do their
Oh
kitty
yeah.
cat stuff with or their doggy stuff with. So I've always felt that since I was a very young age. I think like 4 or 6 years old. And that's how my favorite number became number two, because I was like, people shouldn't be alone. People should be in couples. I don't know what my little 4-year-old had in mind, why I was thinking that. Maybe it was because seeing my parents having such a loving relationship, they were like, like so in love with each other. And seeing that maybe is what prompted me to think like, oh yeah, this is how it's supposed to be. People are supposed to be with each other. And now my parents are celebrating their 46th wedding anniversary.
Rock and roll.
So it's like, woo,
Congratulations, mom and
it's,
dad. Yes.
I think it's pretty cool. It's like, wow, like nowadays most marriages end so quickly. And it's like people get married, divorced in a year, or not even a year, in a few days. Some celebrities we've seen get divorced in one day. It's like others, a few weeks, a few months. I admire people and I admire couples that are able to get through the good times and bad times, which the most important thing is getting through the bad times together and being able to make these relationships last, for a lifetime. I think
Right.
that is, and so yay to my parents.
That's
Um,
mine are almost 60 years married. Yeah. So
wow.
I've been blessed too, to have parents like that and to know that a relationship can last. Um, and the work that they took to
I
keep
think it
going,
it made me feel like that would happen to me, like, oh, I'll be married forever to the same person, never get divorced. Obviously it didn't work out that way. As
Right.
as
Yeah,
everyone can
me
tell,
too.
because I'm
Me
sitting
too.
here not in a relationship. So
Right.
obviously that didn't work out for me. But I've always like adored and admired when you see these older couples like in their 80s and 90s holding hands, walking together, and they look
Yeah.
at each other. You can see the look in their eyes, like they're still so in love with each other. And I think that's just so beautiful to be able to have that. But with regarding if men and women can just be friends without the sex thing getting in the way, I I do think it's possible. I do think that I mean, majority of my friends are men. It's always been that way in my entire life. I don't know why. I have some girlfriends, but 90% of my best friends are guys because I've always gotten along with guys better. And for some reason, females don't want to be my friends. So it's like, okay, well, the guys do. So, and I do not believe that all my guy friends want to have
Well, I
sex
mean,
with
that's not funny. That kind of blows.
me. Like
That
women
the
are
girls
supposed to
don't
have
want
each
to be
other's
friends with you.
backs.
That's,
Yeah, it's like,
yeah, I mean,
but then,
to have
but
a gang of girls that you can rely on and, have fun with,
I
I think that
did
that
in
would be
college.
cool.
I did have a group of
Okay.
girlfriends that we were always, we did everything together. We always had each other's backs, and there was no jealousy of each other. There
Right.
wasn't that. But
Right.
nowadays, it seems like women are so competitive with each other, so jealous of other women, and
Yeah.
I don't quite understand where that comes from because I've never had that thought in my mind to think that way about somebody. I think men tend to have each other's backs a lot more than women do with each other. I think
Yeah, the
men,
competitiveness
yeah,
comes in a different way, I
yeah,
think, with the guys. With the alpha male and the beta, and there's a gamma actually too, that is fine with not being a follower or a leader. It's kind of a middle. That's kind of where I am more. I'm not Mr. Alpha, but usually I'll butt heads with the alpha. But we can still be friends. They're the ones that want to be the lead dog, and I'll be okay, whatever,
you're like,
man,
okay, fine,
but we're still friends, and
yeah,
we're talking and just working through stuff. But with girls, it can be a real battle. I've noticed that myself. But when you were talking about long distance relationships, that's what I think, and you mentioned even with the COVID, that's what a lot of people were doing, with COVID. And even before COVID, there were long-term relationships, but I think that produced more. And in turn, um, just relationships developed. You know, they weren't physically together, truly physically together in the same space. And so
yeah,
I think the development of relationships has been turned on its head and now coming back to normal. So I think that this is such a cool topic just because what we've all just gone through,
yeah. I
basically.
mean, COVID affected everyone all over the
Yeah.
world.
But I
and it
wonder,
affected
in
so many
France, if they're still
relationships.
really, I think that in France, aren't they more, I don't even know what it is, but how they handle relationships is different than in the United
Yeah,
States.
I mean, I have some French friends, and
Yeah,
they're more, I guess, more like liberal
yeah.
with their dating lives, and than I think Americans are. And
And we could pose that question to them, and the women would probably be 50-50 with the guys as far as, can you just have friends, or would you have to have sex if you had that desire,
yeah,
In certain countries, I think it would probably be 50-50, or a good match. If a society is used to that, that's
like
pretty
I
much
have like I'm gonna say every person in France, not all French people, because I don't know all of them.
right,
But the
right,
ones I
right.
do
Yeah, this is not
know,
across the board. Yeah,
yeah,
I
well, the
wouldn't.
ones that I do know, they they're very they were very my friends. Okay, so I don't want anyone to get upset. I'm not generalizing. I'm just talking about the three that are my friends that I know. They're all three of them are very free with hookups and having, friends with benefits more, and not be necessarily, they don't have to be in a relationship and be attached to someone to have sex with them. They can have sex with someone, and to them it's okay, it's fine, and never see the person again. It's they're they don't worry so much. If someone tells you they're they just like hookups, or they just like friends with benefits, then sometimes a lot of people are like judgmental of that. I think it's
Yeah,
more like, oh well, why can't you just settle down and be in one relationship? Why are you, having to go around and, I guess visit every flower in sight?
right, right. I kind of think that as far as people really, uh it's what age group you're in is
Oh
a
yeah,
big
that
part
has
of
a
it,
lot to do with it too.
huge. And as far as even on a societal level, I don't really, as far as income or anything, if it's low or high, I don't really think that plays a huge part of it anymore. I think it used to, but not so much. And but but really the age, and then what part of the country are they in? I mean, as far as the United States, it can change. I mean, from one state kind of to the next,
And I think
as far
also it
as,
varies too on cities, like the size
yeah,
of the city. Are you in a
definitely.
small town?
Yeah,
Are you in a big city?
right,
You have
right.
you have
And in a
many more
small town,
options in a
everybody
big
knows
city.
everybody,
Exactly. In a small
Yeah,
town, then it's, um I think, more
be a
difficult
lot
for,
different.
yeah, because the population is small. Everyone knows everyone. Everyone
Yeah,
knows what everyone's doing,
exactly. Yeah, yeah,
and word spreads quick. With like someone just like hooks up with someone or has friends with benefits, like everyone's going to find out about it and know about
right.
it. Some people like to keep that private. They don't want to announce to the world that, or we're not in a relationship, because we neither of us want a relationship. We're happy the way we're doing things, and that's just, hooking up when we want to. And
Right, right,
some people won't understand that, and they'll be judgmental of it. To me, I say to each their own.
right,
That's their decision, their life. I personally don't do that, but it's it's not my, because, I guess not my right to tell other people what they can and cannot do with their sex lives. That's up to them. And as long as they're not messing with me, then it's all good.
right.
So, but I do
And,
think that COVID did normalize long distance relationships more
yeah, and
than before COVID.
I totally agree. And I think that has changed, even the outlook on, like, men that
Like,
generally could not just be friends with a girl.
yeah.
If they had a sexual draw to a person, they had to let that person know that, you know, I don't know. Guys have kind of backed off too from being, um, the ones going in approaching women for a while. That's been going on for a while. I mean, ever since I was a kid too. It's just been changing. Um, and the men had then the women started asking men out. That's what was
Yes.
starting to happen more while I
I've
was
never
growing
done
up.
that. I'm very old
Yeah,
fashioned. I was
but that
raised that
started
the
happening,
women don't
and that's
ask
right
men, the
about when
men.
this
Yeah.
movie came out. It's right about
Yeah.
when the movie came out too, and so it was kind of doing a switcheroo then. But what were you saying?
I was saying that I personally was raised that, women do not ask men out. Men, ask the women out. And it's like considered a bad thing if you see a woman hitting on a man first. Usually you're supposed to wait for the man to ask you out first or hit on you first before you make a move and reciprocate it, like show that you also have feelings or feel the same way. Like you're not allowed to
Yeah.
show those feelings until the man makes the move first. And I guess that's just, how I was raised, and that I'm old fashioned like that. So I'm
Right.
not one of these women that like goes after a guy and tells him, "Hey, I like you. I want you to be my boyfriend. Oh, please, please, pretty please, will you date me?"
All right.
Instead, oh, well, I'm like, if he's not going to ask me, I'm not asking him out. Ugh, no, that's not going to happen. Plus, I'm very shy. So it's something that I think would terrify me to even think about. My guy's gonna think I'm a weirdo. Like, what's gonna cross his mind? Some men do enjoy women that are forward, but there are other men that prefer the chase. And so I
Right.
think,
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. Yeah.
yeah, so I think
Yeah.
it depends on the type of guy. Because I know
Yeah.
lots of guys that have told me, and I've known throughout the years, that have told me that if a woman hits on them, they find that to be a turnoff. They're not interested because they're like, well, she's hitting on me, then she could be hitting on a bunch of other guys. I don't like that. But same could be said for the men. If the men's hitting on you, they're probably hitting on a bunch of other women too. You never know.
Right. Right. I mean, and that's how it always was. I mean, like the bar scene and in the 20s or your 30s or whatever. Did you ask this person to dance? No. You ask that person to dance?
No.
No. I mean, you just keep
Until
on
you get
going.
one that says yes.
That says okay, and yeah, I mean, so a guy, I think it's a lot harder for us to
You get the nerve
women get
to,
their pick of the litter, I think. It's
yeah,
just how that's how I always kind of saw it.
yeah,
And if ever a woman came up to me, I I there were times though where I wasn't drawn to them. I mean, I would dance, of course. If they asked me to dance, that's nothing,
yeah. I
just
mean,
going
I
and
love
dancing.
dancing.
That's yeah, that's
I could dance with
we're not
anyone. They
yeah,
don't,
we're not
even if it's the guy that comes to ask me to dance, he seems like a nice
right,
person. I'll dance with him. It's not like I'm going home with him. No, it's
right,
like
exactly.
I'll dance with you and because I want to dance, and you seem like
But
a
when you're
nice enough
dancing,
guy, not a creeper. If
that's
someone seems like a creeper, hell no. I'm just like,
a creeper.
get
Yeah,
away.
but that's the other thing though, that I guess maybe that's why my mindset isn't on that, because when you're dancing, you're kind of you're moving together, you're in each other's
Well, and it
spaces.
depends on the
And
type of
so
dancing.
and then with the
Mhm.
guy, yes, that's true, the type of dance.
Are you
And
dancing
for
separated, like rock music, pop, or are you dancing a slow
it's a
dance? It's
slow
more
dance,
intimate. Or are you
yeah.
dancing like salsa merengue, like as Spanish people do, where those dances
Right,
are much more intimate because you're holding each other constantly, like
it
holding each other and twirling each
right,
other and in each other's arms. So those can
right.
be a lot more,
You're having
especially like
contact,
the
yeah,
lambada.
yeah.
That's a very sexually suggestive dance that you want to do with just anyone.
Ooh, that
Um, yeah,
sounds
because
cool.
that dance is basically two people grinding up against each other the entire time. And I started dancing, I was like 10 years old because in the country I was living in, just so everyone knows, because I was not raised in the US, I was raised in foreign countries. Those dances are considered normal. Like over here in the US, people look at them and be like, oh my gosh, that's like how could you like
Uh-huh.
dance like that? That's so sexually provocative. It's like, no, not for us. That's just
And
normal dancing.
and for guys, now this is where that question about can men just be friends?
Yeah.
If if that movement is going and a dude is really digging on it, it's hard for us to rewind and go back to just be cool because
It's like we're
our
not
minds
just
will go
friends
zoom,
anymore. Wink, wink.
and then it's like wow, and you're it's hard to go ahead and
Yeah,
back on
because
down,
I can
cool
stir up
down. Yeah,
some
I
other
think with
feelings
women,
there.
I think with women, they're just like, oh, okay, and they go
Yeah,
back and they're
yeah.
good, and
We
that's
go back
how
to our
they can even,
seats and it's like,
yeah,
thanks for
and
the dance.
you're good to go.
Bye.
Yeah,
He's like,
yeah, I think I'm gonna
arrivederci.
go
See you
watch.
never.
Exactly. But I think that as far as can the men just be friends, that's where it kind of changes, is if there has been some kind of
Sexual
energized sexual
chemistry.
thing, yeah, that's
Yeah.
gone on in a guy, and wow, it's hard to look at that person with just
In the
friend
same
eyes
way.
anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even like after, even if you've just had um the friends with benefits or whatever, that it turns into a serious it turns into a relationship because you
That's what
you
I
develop
feel.
caring for each other. Yeah, and
I've never done it, so I can't speak from personal experience. So, but I'm sure it's not the same for everyone. But I
right,
just feel like friends benefits never works out because I would feel like the people will end up getting feelings, emotions for each other, and end up in a relationship. So if they end up in a relationship together, then that means the friends with benefits thing didn't work out because yes, the sex thing did get in the way and did make you have
right,
feelings for each other versus people that can just have friends with benefits and then never see them again. Like
right.
they're
It
friends
just
with
totally
benefits
destroys it.
for a
Yeah,
couple of weeks, for a couple of months, or a couple of years, but then
and
they
then
get
it's
into
done.
relationships with other people or move away and or it ends up being that one of the people ends up getting strong feelings and wants more
And the other
and the
one
other person
doesn't.
doesn't and so it ends.
Right. Yeah.
So I've
Yeah.
never seen it as a good thing because I see it ending either terribly, where the people that end up not speaking to each other, not being friends anymore because the sex did get in the way and ruin the
Right.
relationship, or they end up together,
Right.
and so I don't know. I guess it's just not something I'm willing to try. I'm not willing to go down that route. I've always
Yeah,
been in
I don't even
serious
have any desire
relationships,
either. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that for me works. So I'm sticking with what works. And
Right.
but I do believe that men and women can be friends without the sex getting in the way. Like I don't
I
think all my
do.
guy friends want to
Yeah.
have sex with me. I believe that people are attracted to different people. Just because there are guys attracted to me doesn't mean every guy's attracted to me. And
Right.
vice
Right.
versa. There could be a guy that's super hot. Doesn't mean I'm attracted to him either. It's
Right.
like there's different tastes for different people. And so I do believe that I do have guy friends that do not want to have sex with me. They're strictly my friends.
Right.
And
Yeah.
my exes would tell me no, they would disagree. And they would say, no, all your guy friends want to have sex with you. They're just pretending to be your friend because they're hoping that you're going to have sex with them at some point if they stay friends with you. That's what they're waiting for.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
and
I
I
will always
don't
tell them,
I
no,
agree
that's
with
not
you though.
true.
Yeah. I agree with you that yeah, you can be friends without that desire. And there might even be some kind of attraction there, that is like maybe an underlying thing. Um uh but uh, the friendship is like the
I
the
don't
main
think the friendship
desire.
is ultimately doomed,
Yeah.
like Harry says in the movie. Well, the sex thing gets in the way. The relationship is ultimately doomed because the
No,
guy's always going to have sex with you, whether you're attractive or
no,
unattractive.
I'm not saying like a major, massive sexual desire. I'm just saying an attraction,
Yeah.
um, that it's there. But no, you want to
Well,
be
I
friends.
do
You
think
want to
that
keep it friends, and you
totally
can
agree.
do it. I totally agree that men and women can just be friends, and it would work out fine. Yeah.
yeah, that's what I think too. But let's see what our viewers think. And I'm going to post a poll so that you viewers can actually vote and say, do you agree? Yes, men and women can just be friends without sex getting involved. Or do you disagree and believe no? sex always ends up getting involved between men and women. They can't just be friends. And on the next episode, then we will go over the results and see where our viewers think, if they think that, if they agree with us or if they don't agree with us. And that is it for this episode, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. And remember, next episode, we will give the results. So come back for that. And it's been great having you, Chet. I really appreciate
Nice.
you as my co-host.
Thank you,
And
Bella.
it's, I guess, until next time, everybody. So, ciao, ciao. Arrivederci.
See y'all
Mwah,
later.
mwah, mwah. I guess if you believe that men and women cannot be friends without the sex getting involved, the perfect song for that would be like, I want you to want me.
Right.
I
I
need you
need you to
to
need
need
me.
me.
Yeah.
So
I love you to
you
love
to
me.
love me. I'm begging you to beg
You to beg
me.
me.
So if
Yeah.
you're one of those, actually, if you're one of those people that is currently involved with a friend that you feel a sexual attraction towards, meaning that the sex that has gotten in the way because you have sexual feelings for them, you can always write to us and let us know your situation if you want to share it with us, and we can share it on the show. And you don't have to make your name public if you don't want to. If you do want us to mention your name, then we will. Otherwise, if you have any personal experiences you'd like to share, everyone can feel free to share the personal experiences with us and we can discuss that next episode. So thank you, everybody, and bye.
Bye.